Right now, local organizations use the day to raise awareness about the Israel-Hamas war with the Day of Peace. Also, the Packers head further east on the Rust Belt to face off against the Cleveland Browns. We see if they could keep the win streak going. And it's the final day of the Willie Street Fair. We'll take you there with all the sights and sounds. It's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. Starting off, today is the International Day of Peace. A local chapter of the nonprofit World Beyond War is using this day to raise awareness about the Israel-Hamas war. Our Tanisha Shaw has more.
Here you see activists that are committing their Saturday to make sure that their voices are heard.
As a society, we continue to be complacent in the genocide that is happening in Gaza.
About 20 people met to walk around Lake Monona. They said that they know that this walk will be very tiresome, but to them, it is nothing compared to what's going on in Gaza right now.
I'm out here because it is my tax dollars that are being sent overseas to, quite frankly, bomb and kill children and support the Israeli genocide in Palestine. And as a veteran, as a Jewish person, I believe it is my not only legal responsibility, but also a moral one to do everything I can.
The war between Israel and Hamas started nearly 2 years ago. Right now, there are more than 64,000 Palestinians that have died, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Since October 7, 2023, there have been approximately 1,200 people from Israel that have died in this war. Local nonprofits like the World Beyond War in Madison are calling the war a genocide.
It's traumatizing to see these images and videos of war that it seems like America is just executive producer of a live stream genocide.
We don't want our money to be sent overseas for endless wars, whether it's in Iran or Afghanistan or Gaza. We don't want that because ultimately the money we spend over there is money we could be spending here to feed kids in schools, to help with education, to give everybody health care.
The march kicked off and ended on Willie Street, the total distance being about 12 miles. Those participating in the walk hope that this will bring awareness to the war.
Continue to press Madisonians to do more and hold our elected officials accountable to making sure that our money and tax dollars are not funding bombs to Palestinians.
The public is united on this. It's our elected officials who are on the other side.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we are starting to get some fog developing out there across parts of central and southern Wisconsin, mainly off towards Sheboygan and Manitowoc, down to about a quarter of a mile visibility. Some of that fog spilling westward into Fond du Lac. Also seeing a little patch of fog developing there towards Lone Rock and Boscobel. That fog is going to expand as we head overnight and maybe limit our chances for some severe weather on Monday. So we are expecting that fog to stick around through at least the morning commute, and then possibly before maybe 11, beginning about 10, 11 o'clock, we start to see that fog lift. The sooner we can do that, the better chance we will have of severe weather. So if that fog sticks around for longer, then maybe we hold back on those severe weather chances later Monday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms off towards the city are going to impact northwestern parts of our forecast area through Monday morning, and then we'll see that chance for severe weather potentially by Monday afternoon. We're going to track out that chance when we see you back here for the full forecast, and we'll also talk about other rain chances next week as well.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. Now to the football field, where the Packers had the chance to redeem a disappointing weekend on the gridiron here in Wisconsin. We send it to Sports Director Andrew Banstra, who has the highlights.
The Packers hit the road for Cleveland for their first road game of the season, looking for their first 3-0 start since 2020. And it looked like that was going to happen until the fourth quarter happened. Cleveland would score 10 points in the span of 27 seconds to stun the Pack as Quinshon Judkins breaks the plane to tie things up at 10. But still, no panic. Green Bay could just kick a field goal to give them the late lead, but no, it's blocked, and Cleveland takes advantage of it, moving the ball into field goal range and converting for football across the state of Wisconsin. Cleveland comes back and beats the Packers in the fourth quarter, 13-10, the final score. Coming up in sports, there is so much more than the Packers going on in the state of Wisconsin today when it comes to sports. We'll tell you why we're at the Kohl Center, plus the Brewers have a chance to clinch the NL Central. All of that coming up soon, but for now, at the Kohl Center, Andrew Banstrut, News 3 Sports.
Andrew, thank you. Definitely looking forward to that one. Today was the final day for the Willie Street Fair. Throughout the weekend, the street was home to some local musicians and artists. The fair has been going on for 48 years. It was originally envisioned to bring the community together at a time when the street was in decline. The event, as you see today, is the culmination of decades of community building, and its centerpiece, the Willie Street Parade.
What makes this one stand out are the people. The crowds, the people who live in this area are just, they can't be beat. You know, this is it. This is the center of Madison, I think.
The fair is held in collaboration with the Wilmar Neighborhood Center, just a couple blocks away. A public information meeting on John Nolan Drive reconstruction project is set for tomorrow night. The project is set to start in early October. The entire project is expected to last until 2027. The city will rebuild 6 bridges, expand bike and pedestrian paths, upgrade storm sewers and traffic signals. Tomorrow, the city, DOT, and contractor will be on hand to answer questions at a Zoom meeting. That starts at 6:30. You can register online on the city's website if you want to take part. If you can't make it, a recording of the meeting will be posted online on the city's John Nolan Reconstruction page as well. Middleton Mayor Emily Kuhn announced she is launching her bid for re-election in the 2026 race. Kuhn previously served for 5 years on the Middleton City Council representing the Lakeview Park area and much of the Pheasant Branch Conservancy. Heads up for our dog owners out there. The MRD Dog Park in Middleton will be closed starting tomorrow. Middleton Parks and Rec will make improvements such as trail upgrades and fence repairs. The park will reopen at noon on Thursday. During the 4-day project, you can visit the dog exercise area at Penny Klein Park or any other park in the Dane County Dog Park Cooperative Program. The True North Music and Food Festival is coming to the Duck Pond later this month. The festival takes place next Saturday, September 27th, featuring some of Madison's best chefs and emerging regional musicians. Madison Magazine is a proud sponsor of the event. Tickets can be found at truenorthfest.com and they start at $15. Now, $2 from each ticket sold will benefit Domestic Abuse Intervention Services and the Dane County Food Collective. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first one forecast. And we head to Glendale, Arizona for the memorial of Charlie Kirk. Plus, several countries recognize Palestine as a state, what this could mean for the Israel-Hamas war.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Today, tens of thousands of people, including the president, gathered in Glendale, Arizona to honor the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. They entered into State Farm Stadium, home of the NFL's Arizona Cardinals, and those who didn't fit filled a nearby arena. More than 200,000 people, many lining up before dawn, had registered in hopes of remembering Kirk, a young conservative killed while speaking to college students earlier this month. The security is extremely tight, however. The event, part memorial, part rally for Kirk's ideas, and the speaker lineup on par with a state funeral, including President Trump. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is there.
A crowd overflowing the biggest venue in Arizona gathered to remember Charlie Kirk.
He showed respect and compassion for everyone.
Local police expected 100,000 or more would try to attend the memorial service, far more than State Farm Stadium hosting the event could hold. Lines were long as the crowd began gathering around midnight, 11 hours before the event was scheduled to begin. Elizabeth White drove from Santa Barbara, California.
We feel disconnected in some way, so this makes me feel connected again.
The list of speakers included several cabinet members and White House officials.
He had wisdom, an uncanny amount of wisdom for a man as young as he was. Wisdom that sometimes it takes a lifetime to accumulate. He had it in just 31 years.
Kirk was just 31 years old when he was assassinated during an appearance on a college campus in Utah September 10th. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is now charged with his murder and could face the death penalty. Kirk had been a mainstay on the campaign trail. He energized college-age voters, building a huge social media following around supporting President Trump. His statements were not without controversy, but Kirk showed a willingness to debate anyone. His death sparked widespread heartbreak and outrage, especially on the right.
We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened.
His death also left 2 small children without a father and a widow who has vowed to carry on his legacy.
Choose prayer. Choose courage. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Kirk's organization Turning Point USA saw today as a call to action, registering new voters as they were coming into the stadium before the ceremony. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Glendale, Arizona.
The Trump administration is scrapping plans to release an annual report on hunger. The Agriculture Department will issue its last report on food insecurity in the U.S. next month, with figures from last year. A department spokesperson says the annual report on hunger became, quote, redundant, costly, and politicized. The move comes months after President Donald Trump and the Republican-controlled Congress passed a domestic spending package that will make cuts to the food stamp program. The president of the Alliance to End Hunger says this decision sends a signal that tracking and battling hunger in the U.S. is no longer a priority. Today, Britain, Canada, and Australia officially recognize Palestine as a state in a unilateral move that has long been opposed by the U.S. and Israel. More countries are expected to do the same this week as world leaders gather in New York for the UN General Assembly. CBS's Seth Doan is in Tel Aviv and has more.
It's an exodus with nearly nowhere to go. More than 400,000 people have fled Gaza City, vehicles piled high with belongings. Leaflets offer the warning to move, but provide no earthly options. Transport can cost thousands. In its effort to destroy any refuge for Hamas, Israel has been leveling buildings. Its airstrikes are leaving kids dazed too. This is injustice, this woman said. We are tired. Every day there is death. This war has killed more than 65,000 people in Gaza, half of them women and children, according to health authorities in Gaza. And a United Nations commission says Israel is committing genocide. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains undeterred in his support for this war, which Israel launched in response to the brutal terrorist massacre by Hamas on October 7th, 2023, when nearly 1,200 people were killed and Hamas took 251 people hostage. The full extent of the suffering in Gaza is not something most Israelis see in the news here. Yet, according to several recent polls, the majority of Israelis want the war to end and want the hostages returned home. As pressures mount from the outside, there are also protests coming from within.
So many people in Israel are...
Yotam Vilk was among about 150 Israeli reservists to sign a letter in 2024 saying they'd refuse to report to serve.
I'm willing to pay the price needed for what I understand is currently fighting for the state of Israel.
But you're not fighting now.
I am. This is me fighting for the state of Israel. The same moral stand that brought me to show up on the 7th of October to defend the people of Israel. The same moral stand that I'm doing this.
Yotam Vilk told us he thought the most Zionist cause was not to return to the battlefield.
Let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we talked about that chance for severe weather Monday afternoon. That's going to be the start of fall. We are officially ending summer today. And then as we go throughout the first couple days of fall, we're going to be watching a few rain chances, but it dwindles as we go further into next week. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy conditions, a little bit more cloud cover off towards the north and west, La Crosse, Monroe, Juneau, Adams, Vernon, as well as Richland, Sauk counties. Probably going to be a little bit more cloudy than folks further south and eastward, where those showers and thunderstorms will be moving into as we go throughout the day. So future track, 10 o'clock in the morning, we've got showers and thunderstorms moving out of the cities into northwestern parts of our coverage area, mainly around La Crosse and when I-90 turns westward. And then we're going to watch as those storms and their outflow likely create a line of showers and thunderstorms that will move its way south and eastward as we go into the mid-afternoon through at least the early evening. And this is going to be the time frame that we could squeeze out a severe thunderstorm or two. Again, we'll watch to see how long that fog sticks around for and how quickly we become cloudy, because those two factors are going to limit how quickly the atmosphere can get juiced up for those one or two severe thunderstorms later Monday afternoon. So we'll keep this isolated chance for severe weather in the green. It's the lowest of the outlooks here outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. Strong winds and hail, they're going to be our main threats as these showers and thunderstorms move their way out of Minnesota into Wisconsin. So that's Monday's setup. And then we go into Tuesday. We'll still keep a chance for a shower or thunderstorm, but compared to what we may see on Monday, not as much green on future track. More of that rain is off to our south. And this is where something interesting kind of happens. A low pressure system will start to move its way out of the deep south. If this was winter, this would be a heavy snowmaker likely, but we're not quite there yet. So we're going to see just how close this gets to, say, Chicago. If this gets a little bit closer to Chicago, then more of us will see that rain. If it stays further into Indiana, then maybe we don't see as much rain Wednesday into early Thursday. But that's going to be the second big rainmaker over the next couple of days, and then the rain chances really dwindle out as we go Thursday onward. So there is a look at the first full week and some change of fall. Fall officially starting on Monday, mid-70s. We usually start off fall, or we should normally start off fall in the upper 60s, but we started off fall in the 90s before. We started off fall in the upper 40s. So we'll hang out in the 70s this year, and then 70s all throughout really the extended forecast. And we do look to dry out as we go Friday onward. That's when it looks like a big high pressure system is once again going to move out of Canada and keep us quiet as we go into that first weekend of the new season.
I know that we're officially entering fall, but when does spooky season officially start? Is that in October, or is it as soon as we hit fall?
For me, it's like mid-October. Even early October, I think it's still a little bit too early.
Okay.
I've got to get at least double digits into October to really like mentally, okay, we're getting closer to Halloween.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Coming up in sports, Badger volleyball is back in action. Our Andrew Banstra takes us to the game and tells us whether Wisconsin can hold their own against Florida.
You couldn't ask for much more of an action-packed day in sports than Sunday in the state of Wisconsin. We start right here at the Kohl Center, where the Badgers hosted number 15 Florida on the volleyball court. Wisconsin came into this game having won each of their last 5, all in sweeping fashion. But today they would lose the first set against Florida, and from there, it was all Badgers. First, it was Mimi putting it down. She had a match-high 27 kills. What a day for Collier. Later on, she handed off to her partner in crime, Carter Booth. She pitches in a kill of her own to go with her match-high 9 blocks. And at this point, Florida was faltering. And then there was Alicia Andrew, an all-around effort for Bucky, who bounces back after that first set loss, fending off Florida 3-1 as the Badgers win it. And of course, we're not going to forget about the Packers, who headed to Cleveland looking for a 3-0 start as Jordan Love and company trying to find their footing against an 0-2 Browns team. The Pack finally found the end zone in the third. Jordan Love fires it to John Fitzpatrick, putting the Packers up 10-0. And what looked like it was going to go down as an ugly win quickly spiraled to something worse. 10-3 Green Bay in the fourth, and Jordan Love throws a costly interception that leads to a Browns touchdown. Cleveland would score 10 points in the span of 27 seconds to stun the Pack as Quinshon Judkins breaks the plane to tie things up at 10. But still, no panic. Green Bay could just kick a field goal to give them the late lead, but no, it's blocked, and Cleveland takes advantage of it, moving the ball into field goal range and converting in a disappointing weekend for football across the state of Wisconsin. Cleveland comes back and beats the Packers in the fourth quarter, 13-10, the final score. Let's hear from Jason Welby to break down what just happened.
Well, Andrew, the good news is we can dispense with that nonsense from Rasheed Walker that this team was going to go undefeated. That thought lasted less than 72 hours. But look, I look at my job as I'm the guy who puts his thumb on the scale when things get out of balance. And so when the Packers were 2-0 and they looked like a dominant team and Jordan Love was going to go win the MVP and they were going to be the 85 Bears on defense, I was trying to tell people, hey, let's hold off on booking those February travel plans to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, California. And now I would say, hey, their offensive line was in shambles. They played Zach Tom one snap before he re-injured his oblique muscle. So they were a mess there. Jordan Love threw a terrible interception. He cannot make that mistake. Matt LaFleur tried to take the blame for it, say it was a bad play call. But you actively had to try to lose that game, it felt like. And they found a way to do it. They snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. The good news is Micah Parsons and the Packers will go down to Dallas. He will be facing his former team in prime time. They'll have every opportunity to bounce back against the Cowboys next Sunday night. Back to you.
To the baseball diamond, where the Brewers look to win their third straight NL Central title. A chance to do that today against the Cardinals. Came into the day needing either a win or a Cubs loss. Either would get the job done. And the highlights here didn't come from the crew. They lost 5-1 in St. Louis, but they still broke out the bubbles. The Cubs lose, and the Brewers celebrate their third straight NL Central title and their fourth in 5 years. They also solidified no worse than a 2 seed in the National League, meaning they'll bypass the wild card and host Game 1 of the NLDS on Saturday, October.
My apologies there. Blaze, we're headed into the work week. What should we expect as we head into the official start of fall?
We are looking at some fog to start off tomorrow morning, partly sunny, but as we head into the afternoon, we may be squeezing out showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could be severe. We have a marginal risk for severe weather. Strong winds and hail are going to be the main threat, so stay with News 3 now. We will keep you updated. We stay in the 70s throughout next week with the rain chances really diminishing, I would say, by Wednesday. And then that means a dry weekend ahead for the new season.
All right, sounds good. Don't judge me. I was checking my fantasy football teams. But thank you, Blaze. Thank you all for joining us. Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.